that contribute to our collective professional growth. We request all participants to kindly settle in and ensure your mobile phones are in silent mode during the sessions. Your active engagement and questions are most welcome and appreciated throughout the day. Without further delay, let's move ahead to our first session. For that, we have Dr. Chandralekha Rajalakshmi, an accomplished computational chemist and assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Government College, Kottayam. Dr. Rajalakshmi holds a PhD in computational chemistry from Mahatma Gandhi University, where her research focused on catalytic mechanisms of first-row transition metals in homogeneous cross-coupling reactions. Her expertise lies in theoretical chemistry, particularly in the application of density functional theory and machine learning in chemical reaction modeling. Over the years, she has contributed significantly to the field with multiple publications in reputed international journals, several of which have appeared as cover articles. She has been a senior research fellow under the University Grants Commission of India and was also awarded the prestigious NGU Big Idea Grant for developing computational chemistry software. Her research has been recognized both nationally and internationally, with accolades including Best Oral Presentation Awards and invitations to the conference across India, Europe, and USA. We are truly honored to have her with us today to share her insights and expertise. Let's warmly welcome Dr. Chandralekha Rajalakshmi.
quadratic modeling. So just a few minutes before, we have mentioned about uh, the role of computational chemistry for predictive modeling. Uh, there you have seen some areas where computational tools can be applied in the area of catalysis. I have already mentioned that I have just focused on to one single particular problem, so that you will gain some idea about how the computational tools can be applied in the area of catalysis. There I have taken the example of homogeneous catalysis as the example. Uh, so similarly, many of you have asked me which is the software I have used. So there are many software packages available to us for doing this computational modeling. One is Gaussian. That is in that software I have done my research work. Then you have also available Orca is another software that you can use. So similarly, so many softwares are available. As I have already told that depending upon the problem of interest, you can choose different problems. For material science project, you can use for quantum espresso, and many different softwares are available. So you have to use the one. Again, many of them are one limitation or one thing is that many of these are not available free of cost. So we have to pay for that. So some softwares are, I think Orca you can available free of cost. But this Gaussian or the software that use electronic structure calculation, there you have to purchase that particular software, or your institution you have to, through your institution you can purchase. Okay, so that is about it. Then you can use this computational techniques for the investigating the catalytic reaction for heterogeneous catalysis also. Similarly, enzymatic catalysis also, different ways are there. Uh, so I'm not going into details of that. So next we can move to the next section. So what is, so we have now mentioned about where we are. That is in the past few years, where what are the computational techniques that is available to us, how we are applying that to in the area of catalysis. Now, what is our future and what is currently we are doing in the area of catalysis with the aid of computational tools. That is our our current session. So the artificial intelligence for predictive catalytic modeling. So the term artificial intelligence is a very common term nowadays. For past 1-2 years, it is used in our day-to-day life for everything. So the artificial intelligence is actually is a simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think, learn, and solve a problem. So the recent Nobel Prize awarded in physics and also in the area of biology that I have not shown here are gone to the area of artificial intelligence. So here they have in the area of physics for John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton, they have received Nobel Prize for formulating artificial neural network. In the area of biology or in the area of chemistry, they have used design the structure of protein. So there also they have, Nobel Prize have been awarded in the area of AI. So that is AI is a very fast developing, and the growth is seen so much. It is an exponential growth that is being seen in every area. As compared to the computational methodology development, the development of AI is very fast. The publications are being published in the various reputed journal in every second. I think one publication related to AI is being published. Like that, exponential growth is being happening. So it's a very important and very interesting area. So it's my suggestion to that if you are working in the area of any, so another aspect is that the AI can be applied in almost all areas of research, scientific research. So if you, it is better to have some expertise, some base, even with the basic expertise, you can use the power of AI in your research. So that will be that will make your research more economical, as well as it will reduce the time that is you needed for your research. Okay. Next. So what is another term that is commonly seen in this research papers is the predictive modeling that is related to AI. So that is the technique of using the earlier technique that we use, computational technique, is also somewhat predictive modeling, but it is more seen commonly with the artificial intelligence. So predictive modeling is a technique of using artificial intelligence to analyze data, to identify patterns, and to make future predictions. So this in the area of catalysis, predictive modeling is used for catalyst screening. Earlier, I have mentioned you about the case which catalyst, if you are given a reaction, you are asked, your teacher asks you to find the best catalyst that is for a particular reaction. So I have mentioned you about one technique. So here, with the aid of AI, you can find which catalyst is better. So that is called catalyst screening. Then you can design catalyst. Then, like drug design, you can design catalyst. Then predict the energetics of reaction that we have just seen before. Energetics means energy of the particular reaction. We can predict the activation energy. See, for me, when I do the research, I think if we have a powerful software, I think it is 1 or 2 weeks is needed for us to predict this energetics, that is to identify which mechanism is suitable for a particular reaction. If you are asked to change the for same reaction, if you are asked to change the reaction condition, then also to identify which is the best reaction condition for a particular reaction. If you are given a question, then also it will take 1 to 2 weeks to find out that. But with now it is possible to predict the activation barrier with the aid of artificial intelligence. If you have all those data available, then you can predict what is the activation barrier for a particular catalytic reaction. So then we can identify that whether that catalysis reaction will work or will not work. Okay, so that is predicting energetics. And third is predicting catalytic mechanism. It is a very wonderful, very interesting as well as exciting area, because too much of our effort is being given in the area of catalytic mechanism. As I already told that for in the earlier case, 4 different mechanism you have there. You have to investigate all those particular mechanisms. Then you have to choose which mechanism suits for your system. So if you are given, or if you have an assistant with you, without doing this all those things, he or she will tell you, okay, this is your particular mechanism. This mechanism, according to my previous knowledge, this mechanism works for your system, like that. Like a small chitty or robot is available to you, then it will be great. So that is not a dream, actually. It is actually happening. So within, I think within a span of 5 years or something, the predicting catalytic mechanism is becoming a very feasible as well as a very easy task. So that will also gear up the research in the areas of catalysis. Okay, so that's the power of AI. So let's see how this we all know AI can do all those things, all these things. AI can do anything, right? We are all familiar with ChatGPT, and we all know how ChatGPT has influenced our life, right? Every day we are all for everything. Earlier time it was Google. Now everyone is mentioning about, even small kids are from to old elderly people are mentioning about ChatGPT. Just go and ask ChatGPT what is that. If you want to find some answers, so the first option is ChatGPT. Earlier time it was encyclopedia, then Google. Now it is ChatGPT. So that is ChatGPT is a chatbot. It's an AI powered tool, right? AI powered software. Okay. So how this happened? So if think of a situation, if such a ChatGPT is available for catalysis. Okay, that is specifically made for catalysis. So such a situation, how beautiful and how interesting is it, right? So we'll mention it about later. So let's see how this machine learning can be applied in the area of catalysis. So first thing is that you will know what we need is that we need the data in order to work a problem in artificial intelligence. And again, I'm saying that ML, or the term ML, means machine learning. It is a branch of artificial intelligence. So the first thing we need what is the thing that is need in our hand is the data. It is not just getting 1, 2, or 3 I mean, if you have a 10 reaction data that contains 10 reaction set, then the question is that whether we have to choose for DFT study or computational study or ML study means you have to opt for computational, simply DFT study, because machine learning needs lots of data. If you are given a problem that contains lot of data available, means lot of people have worked on a particular category of reaction where their mechanisms are not in and where there if a new catalyst you need to test. In that case, for example, you have for example the case of palladium catalyst reaction, because it is a reaction that is being worked on for so many years, so there are lot of data available, so you have different knowledge regarding that particular area of catalysis. So there, if you want to design a new catalyst or if you want to design a new reaction based on this palladium catalyst, then you can sometimes opt for AI studies. But if you have a new catalyst and new set of reaction, new reaction is coming, then you have only 10 or 100 set of reaction in your hand, then you have to, it is better to work with the quantum chemical methods or density function theory method, as we have already mentioned above, or other computational tools, where one by one testing is possible. So you have to, it is not possible for AI to do all tasks. Okay. If you have a lot of data, then AI will definitely work. So first thing is that the data, you need the data. Data collection is the first step. I think do you have background in artificial intelligence, or are you familiar with uh, this type of techniques? Everyone? No. Okay. Uh, okay, you have heard about this machine learning thing, machine learning algorithms and all those things, right? Okay, so first thing is the data collection. So the data, raw data is gathered from experiments or observations. So we will go into detail one by one. So first we need the data. Then after getting the data, it needs to be, the second step is the data pre-processing. Means the collected data, it will contain some duplicates. So it needs to be cleaned. Data should be pre-processed and it is formatted. This data is the input to our machine learning algorithm. So we have to pre-process the data. Then we will discuss each of these steps in next slides and we will discuss it later. So first of things, you have to focus on the basic steps in a machine learning workflow when it is applied in the area of catalysis. So first we have to collect the data. Then after collecting the data, you have to pre-process the data. Then only after pre-processing, it can be given to the machine learning algorithm. Then after getting into getting the pre-processed data, you have to train the algorithm. Means you have to choose which algorithm to choose for this particular study. Just like earlier case, we have to, in the case of computational tools, we have said that either we can go for density function theory or either you can go for molecular dynamics. So depending upon the problem of interest, you have to choose which algorithm works better. Then after that, a model will be developed. A predictive model is based on this learned input output mapping. So what is it doing? So the algorithm will learn a mathematical relationship between input variable and the non-variable. Just like earlier case, we have mentioned that that means with the energy barrier as one variable, I have asked you which catalyst is working better. So there we have seen only one type of relation, that is energy barrier with sometimes yield or something like that. Okay. One-to-one relationship, a linear relationship or one variable is or one parameter is used there. So suppose if you have a multiple variable or multiple things that is affecting your reaction, then your output variable will be a function of all those things. So then you have to go for this machine. That is the way the machine learning algorithm work. So it will, all those things are mathematical modeling. So mathematically, the algorithm will find the relationship between the input variables, that is our data, and the data containing the output variable. Means a data set contains some as input variable, and something output variable is the one that we have to predict. For example, if you want to predict the yield of reaction, then output variable will be the yield. Input variable will be our reaction conditions, means temperature, pressure, catalyst, all those things, right? So that is a function. Just like it's a mathematical function, complex mathematical function. It's function of so many variables. Okay, so that is the algorithm. That all things algorithm will do. Then after that, a model will be developed. Then a predictive model is built based on this learned input-output mapping. After that, it will be trained. Okay, just like we are training for an exam, we are given different kinds of problems. For example, you are if you are facing an entrance exam, if you are going into a coaching institute, they will train different types of problems in different areas. Then you will be trained for that. Then you are given a new question, your question paper. Then you can definitely work on that. Similarly, machine learning algorithm, we are training a model. Then that model will predict. Since machines have lot of area to store, it has a big brain than it has a large storage capacity than ours. It can easily predict the complex, analyze the complex relationship in the data that humans cannot see. So that is the machine learning do. So the trained model will now estimate the output for new, previously unseen inputs. That is predicting. It is predicting. That is why it is called a predictive modeling. Okay. Shall I go to the next slide? So let's move into each of these cases one by one. So what are things you have to be taken care of in the case of data collection? So how this data is obtained. So first thing I have told you is that what we need in a machine learning model is the data. So first we have to collect the data. So from where we have to collect this data. So one is that from published literature. So it is a tedious, not tedious task, but it is a time-taking task. If you are doing machine learning for a particular problem from the scratch, because if you have any previously available data available, for example, in the case of cross-coupling reaction, I have hundreds or thousands, okay, 200 papers, articles related to cross-coupling reaction, but that article is with me, but I have not got a data set that contain all these things. So I have to work on a problem that is dealing with cross-coupling reaction. What I have to do? I have to definitely put my time to prepare a data set. If you are starting from scratch, I have to do that. Or in the case, if you're doing some material science project where lot of data is available, that is available in the literature or some database, the data is available, then you can directly download that data. Or simply someone is created data before, then you have simply download that data. So if you're starting from scratch, you have to, it's a painful process and time consuming process. So one way to get data is from published literature. That means published standard peer reviewed journals. You can extract catalytic reaction from research articles, reviews, patents, all those things. So that is the one. Second, experimental lab data. Means many cases lab notebooks are available. So there also you can collect direct observations from there. That is also data collection. Then high throughput experimentation data is available. That means it is the purpose of high throughput experimentation is to generate large volumes of catalytic data. So from that high throughput experimentation data, you can collect the data for your machine learning techniques. And then third is you can also collect theoretical study data. For example, you have you are a computational chemist and you have so much data available from your research studies. Then you can gather that data for your machine learning problem. Then there are nowadays many online research databases are available like Reaxys, PubChem, Open Reaction Database. These are all databases which contain already data that is related to reactions. That may be some are related to catalytic reaction, but some are, it is a mix means that database is a mixture that contains organic reaction as well as catalytic reaction. Means it contains non-catalytic and catalytic reaction. So from there you have to identify the catalytic reaction, and there also you will get the data required for your machine learning study. And third is the patent databases. That is USPT or patent database means the work that is we can extract catalyst system performance and synthesis details from patent studies. Okay. So one disadvantage of this online reaction database now existing now are they are all related to the successful reaction. The data that is related to the successful reactions are given in this USPTO or patent database or reaction database, where for example, if you are getting a reaction that is having zero yield, that will not be seen in this reaction database. So for a machine learning work to perform, you have to get the both good result as well as bad results. I mean, a negative result. That is why it is called even you are getting a result that is getting zero yield or that reaction doesn't work is also a result, because that can be used for machine learning purpose, so that the machine can understand that, okay, when this condition is used, then this reaction will not work. So it definitely need to have negative result. Otherwise, the machine learning could not classify which reaction work. Okay. So that is the so if you are going for online reaction database and patent databases, it will have contain only successful reaction. So one way to overcome this is to one way to overcome this is to use the literature mined database. So you have to go through the literature and collect the data which contain negative results also for your machine learning. But make sure that it is from that the experiment is conducted properly. So you have to search in the proper peer review journal, standard peer review journal. So otherwise it will what we are giving to the machine only will understand. So it can't judge whether it is right or not. Okay, just like chippy, if you are giving it good, good knowledge, it is provided, it will give you like that, because it doesn't have the ability to think, okay, this may be right or wrong. No, if you are giving, it will trust us and it will give the result. Okay, so make sure that the data we are giving is correct. So that is the data set collection. So next, that I have already mentioned, importance of literature mined data set. That is the one that we are collecting through peer-reviewed journal, which contain negative as well as positive result. So that will give you a realistic data. It will have a diverse chemistry. It will contain negative results, and that will improve your model performance, and thus it will save time and resources. So second step is the data pre-processing. So if you are getting, you have collected data from resources. For example, we are working in the area of cross-coupling reaction, because that is the one just I have given as you the case study. So we are working in the area of cross-coupling reaction. So we need a data set. So what first we are doing? We are collecting the data from different sources, literature mined sources, as well as all those things, and collected data. That may be in the form of some Excel sheet or something like that. So you have got the data. So second step is the data pre-processing. You have to clean the data. What is the need of data cleaning? Because sometimes the data containing duplicates, means same experiment may be performed by two different groups at the same temperature condition. That means for optimizing the reaction, they may perform the same reaction. So our database will contain duplicate entries. So we have to remove that duplicates. Then sometimes, for example, if you are taking the cross coupling, you just consider the situation and not just think of that you have given the problem, not cross coupling. This is not related to chemistry. You just think of the situation. You have the for every data set, it will contain some duplicate. So you have to remove the duplicate. Then sometimes it contains missing value. Means, for example, if you are taken a reaction, in some cases, in one cases, it is conducted in the presence of solvent. So solvent will be our one column. But in the second case, in another case, the reaction is conducted in the absence of solvent. Then that case, it will be missing. Solvent will be missing. So missing values will be there, and inconsistent entries will be there. So we have to remove all those things. So you can remove those things. We don't want to create algorithm. It is already available. So in the Python libraries, we can using Python libraries, we can clean our data. Then after cleaning data, we have to standardize. So second thing is the standardization of format. So we have to convert all the structures and condition to consistent units and format. That means standardize the things. That means if you have a temperature as one parameter, then we have to convert every temperature. In some contains Kelvin scale, some contains degree Celsius scale. So you have to assign all those things in a standardized manner, either in degree Celsius or in Kelvin. Okay, standardize our data set. Otherwise, machine will not understand. If your some data are given in Kelvin, some data are given in Celsius, it will not make sense. So you have to standardize it. Then time also, some in hours, some in second, then it will confuse the machine learning model. So you have to do that. Then RDKit is a very important chemi-informatics library in Python that can be used for handling chemical information. So since we are dealing with catalysis, that is why we are focusing more on the tools that is related to solving problems related to chemistry. Okay, so RDKit is a chemi-informatics library in Python that is used for handling chemical information. So in the next one is that in data preprocessing, another thing is that the molecules may be represented in different formats. For example, CH3COH, that is acetic acid, that is simply we write. So in order to, but this CH3COH is not known to machine. How we teach this machine that this is acetic acid. How is it different from methane or formic acid? So the machine has no idea about that. Okay, so we have to teach the medicine. So so we can use the we can convert the molecule to machine readable format like SMILES. SMILES means simplified molecular input line entry system. So that is, it has a unique nature. CH3COH is represented like this. So this we can use, we can convert it with the help of some tools available. Even in the, if you are using some simple ChemDraw software, it has got this it has got if you are given acetic acid, and we can convert it in that simple software itself. Or online tools are nowadays available to convert the chemical structures into the SMILES format. That is not a big problem. We are in the case of catalysis, you are given the reactants and products. So you have to convert all these reactants and products into its SMILES format available. So that is also done in the data pre-processing state. Then we will get a data set. Then we call the data set as pre-processed data set. Okay. Next thing is that feature extraction. Again, the sometimes the type of model or type of machine learning algorithm that we are using plays an important role. Okay. Some algorithm can understood SMILE. Okay. But some algorithm could not understood this SMILE format. It will not take SMILE format. So there we have to again extract feature from that. Okay. Because acetic acid is written like this, but how it can be used to extract the molecular level or electronic level information that is contained in this particular one. So there comes the importance of descriptors. So reaction descriptors are numbers or data that describe a chemical reaction. Okay, these are used as input or features for machine learning model. Okay, so machine learning model, machine wants to understand the relationship between the input variable and the output variable. So in order to make a relationship between this input and output, it has to understand deeper how one is different from other. So their reaction descriptors are used. So that is called a feature extraction. So our goal is to generate machine readable input, that is features from reaction data. So for that, RTKit can be used. We can extract properties like molecular weight, number of rings. Then if you want quantum descriptors, there also you can use DFT tools. As earlier mentioned, DFT can be used to extract molecular level insights like quantum descriptors like homolumo homolumo gap. Homolumo gap is normally catalysis also it is being used. Homo is highest occupied molecular orbital. LUMO is lowest occupied molecular orbital. For interaction studies, it is being used. Quantum descriptors. So there are different descriptors available. Then reaction fingerprints are also available. So that means for different problems or different algorithm, we can choose different features. Okay. So these are then for another one is that if you are using language model like ChatGPT, it understood the language. So there you have to use ChemBut for about feature extraction. So for different machine learning model, different approaches we have to adopt. Then next step is the label assignment. That means we have to understand what is our target. In catalysis, what are normally the targets are. We can either yield will be the target. Okay. Or another one is the selectivity. What is the selectivity of the catalyst? That is another question. That is our machine learning problem will be related to predicting yield or predicting selectivity or predicting reaction time or predicting the optimal conditions that is needed for a particular reaction. Okay, so all these things, depending on the problem of interest, we have to do. For all those, every machine learning technique, the first thing is you have to collect the data, then you have to pre-process the data, then you have to extract feature. Feature extraction should be done. Then you have to assign what is your target variable. Okay. Then another one is the normalization and encoding. That means we can convert all input features into a numerical format and we can scale them. Okay. For example, if you have a data set that contain yield, some yield contains 61 that contain decimals. Some contains no decimal. We can standardize it into whole numbers so that a unified format will be so that it will be in a uniform format. That is, all yield will be in a whole number manner so that machine will easily understand. Otherwise, machine will it will cause confusion to the machine or the model. I mean, machine means the model. The mathematical model will have so much confusion. So it is better to give a standardized format. So for that, we can use normalization and encoding. In some cases, we can, if the SMILES formats are not available, we can convert the text labels into binary vectors. That is called one-hot encoding. That is commonly used in catalysis related machine learning tasks. Then next we have to go for machine learning algorithm. Okay, now we have mentioned about data collection, data pre-processing. Third is the model, that is algorithm. What is the machine learning algorithm that you have to use? Okay, commonly there are mainly the task, that is whatever be the catalytic problem that is given to us, it will fall into either of the three classes. One is supervised learning, second is unsupervised learning, and third is reinforcement learning. These may be the three tasks. So in supervised learning, you will, if you are asked to find the yield of a reaction, then it is a kind of supervised learning. That means it uses labeled data. You will have some parameters, that is, you have ligand, you have metal, you have what reaction conditions are there, and there is a corresponding output, that is yield. That is, if you have the machine, ultimately you have some reaction. If you have yield 80% or 90% above for a particular set of reactions, then some reactions you will have intermediate yield and some you will have very small poor yield. Then if you are giving these data set to the algorithm, the algorithm will find the patterns between this input and output variable. Then it will predict the model based on this input-output relationship. So that will be labeled data. We'll have some corresponding labels associated with that. This is common in chemistry for predicting yield, selectivity, or reaction outcomes. Then it is used to learn mapping. It learns a mapping function from input features to output values. So our goal is to accurately predict output for new unseen. Whatever be it, our aim is to predict for new unseen data what will be. That is predictive modeling we are doing. And again, it relies heavily on quality and quantity on training data. The supervised learning methods relies heavily on quality and the quantity of the training data. If your training data is poor, then it will predict wrong prediction. And if your data is also small, then it will also give wrong prediction. So it heavily depends upon the quality and quantity of training data. Then second is the unsupervised learning. So it works with the unlabeled data. That is, no known output or target variable are available. Then it is called unlabeled data. That is, just you have to find patterns. The algorithm, what it will do then, it will find patterns and structures. If, for example, you have to group or categorize something, then it can do that. Okay, based on the some property, you have to categorize it. Sometimes you may, that is in machine learning, if you are given the features of cat and if you are given the features of parrot, then the machine can categorize it. Okay, if you train the model with the images, then if you are given a picture of cat or parrot, then it will easily recognize which is cat or which is parrot. We are not giving any quantitative details on that. So that may be unsupervised learning, categorized it. Then common tasks include clustering, dimensionality reduction, and it is useful for exploring data when output is unknown or undefined. Helps in discovering hidden relationships or trends in complex data set. Then third is reinforcement learning. That is like just like training a student to do the best thing by trying, getting feedback, and learning from mistake. That is, we have no variables available. Just it's a type of machine learning where there is an agent that learns by interacting with the environment. So our goal is to choose the best action at each step to maximize the total reward over time. So this agent will observe the current state, it takes an action and it receives a reward and moves to a new state and it learns from this and improve the future actions. So this is another technique, that is a reinforcement learning, that is improving one by one. Okay. Then another classification is that is the algorithm. So our machine learning algorithm falls into, or machine learning problem falls into three categories: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. And our problem definitely belongs to three of these classes. Then if you find out the nature of our problem, then the next question is which type of machine learning model you have to use: regression model or classification model. Regression model means simply you have a linear relationship. Okay, just one variation of y with x. It's a linear variation, right? Linear relationship. If you get a straight line, y equal to mx plus a straight line, it is a linear relationship. And if you have multiple parameters, if y is the output, and if it depends upon multiple parameters, then you have to go for this regression. You will assign regression type of problem as it is. Then another one is a classification one. Okay, let's move into more details about regression models and classification model. So regression models that are used to predict, simply we can say that it is used to predict continuous values. If you are predicting yield of a reaction, yield of a catalytic reaction, then it is a regression model. That is price, yield, temperature, all those things are continuous variables. Then what are the common regression models available? That is linear regression, polymer regression will be there. So linear regression is simply the one that is a straight line fit into input features. Okay. Then polynomial regression is there. Ridge and lasso regression is there. Support vector regression, decision tree regression. That is another important one. So decision tree means you split the data into, or the model or algorithm split the data into different region when the relation is not linear. That is, if you have a non-linear relationship, an interpretable relationship, then you can use for decision tree regression. And within the decision tree regression, if you have so many decision tree, it will become a forest. That is, it is called random forest regression. That is another one. It uses multiple decision tree. That is simply asking the data set whether it is yes or no questions പോലത്തെ വരത്തില്ല. അതായത് ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഒരെണ്ണം കൊടുക്കുന്നു, നമ്മൾ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് if our answer is yes, you can go for next one. If it is no, then you can go for another, like that. അങ്ങനെ വരുന്ന ഇതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ decision tree regression അല്ലെ random forest regression വരുന്ന category of problems അതാണ്. Next is the neural network regression. So that is good for large complex data sets with non-linear patterns. The next question is that how we evaluate. So our evaluation metrics is based on mean squared error, mean absolute error, or R square. R square value വെച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ഇതിനെ that is how we assign or how we evaluate whether our model is good or bad. That is based on mean squared error, mean absolute error, and R square value. Then next is the classification model. So now we have mentioned about regression model that is for continuous values. And next is that if you are selecting a machine learning model, which is called classification model, that will classify, that is yes or no question, that predict discrete labels or classes, which classes it will follow. For example, if you want to find the toxicity studies, you can say it is toxic or it is non-toxic based upon the properties. So that is a classification task. So there you have to use the model that is good for classification. So for each cases, for regression task, you have regression models, and for classification task, you have classification models. So regression models, you can use linear regression, that is very familiar to all of us. Then polynomial regression, decision tree, and random forest. And neural network also falls in the category of regression. But in the class of classification models, you have a commonly logistic regression and k nearest neighbor, means it classify based on the vote of nearest neighbor. It will analyze the nearest neighboring data point and analyze the that neighboring data sets to find the pattern. Okay. Then the earlier cases, random forest also can be used for classification tasks. So depending upon what is the problem of your interest, what is your output value, we have to use different machine learning model. Okay, so that is the case. Choice of machine learning method. So different ML methods have their corresponding advantages and disadvantages. It is not common to say that, okay, your neural network is best for all purpose. That is not possible. So we have to have a basic understanding of all those things. Then only you can use it for different problems. Okay, if you say if your selection is the wrong one, then machine learning will not work. Okay, then selection of an individual method depends on the size and feature of the data set. So that is the one. Depending on the nature of the data set and depending on the size of the data set, we have to choose our method. So what we are mentioning is the machine learning pathway. It can be applied to almost all problems in catalysis. We can proceed like this. So first you have to collect the data, then you have to pre-process the data, then you have to give it into the machine learning model. So what model we have to choose? If you're choosing a wrong model, I told you your answer will not be wrong. Will be wrong. Okay. If you want to predict yield instead of regression model, you are using some unsupervised learning method, you may not get the answer. Okay. So you have to use the right one. So it may falls into the category of regression or classification model. Then if you have a small data set, so that is a question. In catalysis, what happens is that in the case of drug designing or something, in that cases, biological field, there are a lot of data available regarding the drug candidates, like protein. If you are working in the area of protein designing or something like that, then you have so much data available. But in the case of, for example, viral pandemic prediction, there also you have so much data available regarding to that. But in the case of catalysis, if you get into homogeneous or heterogeneous catalysis, the data set available is small. So small data set is the problem. That is one of the limitation that we are facing in the case of catalytic facing when machine learning is applied in the area of catalysis. So for small data set, you can use simple methods like linear regression, logistic regression, etc. But sometimes it may not work. It is too simple to apply linear regression. Sometimes it may get, but if you have so many variables, if your output depends upon so many variables, then it may not work. So these work only when the data is limited and clear. Okay. Second is for large data set, you can use non-linear methods like artificial neural network or k nearest neighbor. So artificial neural network performs better with more data because it learns patterns effectively. Then another one is support vector machine. It can handle both linear and non-linear problem. And so it is easier to understand than support vector machines are normally easier to understand than artificial neural network, but they are sensitive to parameter settings. So it is not because since it takes too much time if you go through each of this. So I'm just giving you just introductory talk on regarding to all these models. Okay. So when you have a data which has missing or uncorrelated value, then which one is better? We can go for decision tree models. But sometimes one of the problem that is faced by decision tree approach is that it can overfit. So so the better version of this decision tree approach is the random forest, which handles better because it has so much decision trees. Then if you have an unlabeled data, then you can go for clustering methods. Okay. These are some terms. I know it is very, if you are hearing it for the first time, it is very difficult to memorize all these things. No issue, but I'm just giving you the application of machine learning in the areas of catalysis. So just I'll give you through some case studies so that you can understand how machine learning can be applied in the area of catalysis. You will have this idea. Is it possible? The question is that even when I started working on machine learning, I have only background on computational chemistry, and I know I can use means computation chemistry tool to predict the mechanism or small knowledge regarding this machine learning. So the problem in front of me is that I have a problem regarding catalysis. So which model I have to use? All these questions that come in front of me. So so everyone, if you are starting with if you are a starter in the area of or beginner in the area of machine learning, you all have to go through these kinds of confusion. But definitely, after practicing, at least we can identify which method we can use. So that is one technique you have to gain if you are working in the area of machine learning. So we can go through the case studies. So here also, as in the previous slides, I have given cross coupling as the case study. So the question is that the first question is that since I have done in my PhD in the area of cross coupling reaction. So the question in front of me is that whether is it possible for machine learning techniques to be applied in the case of cross coupling? Okay, so that is the question. So the beginning is that is the beginning of the problem. So what are the challenges I have faced is that the data I have collected a data set. I have collected data and prepared a data set for my machine learning task. And what is the challenges that is faced by me is that there is a requirement of diverse data for building robust model and limitations associated with small data set. I have only a data set that comprises of only 5,000 reactions. The question in front of me is that and colleagues എല്ലാം ചോദിച്ചതാണ് 5,000 reaction only is it possible to apply machine learning for this one? So that is a big question. But I learned that it is possible nowadays possible for small data set to be used in the area of machine learning. So data set availability is one issue. Limited availability of publicly accessible large data set for training machine learning model is one limitation. Then existing publicly available data sets are biased towards successful reactions. I have already told it does not contain negative result. Then how I will input this negative results into my data set? So definitely I have to go for literature mining. So that took me about 1 month to compile all this data set. So I prepared a data set for that. So what is my first objective is first objective is that I have to develop robust and generalizable machine learning model for yield prediction. So first, I can go for selectivity, catalyst selectivity. I can solve many problems in cross-coupling reaction with the help of machine learning model. That is, I can design catalyst, I can develop new reaction protocol, I can go for mechanical studies. So I go for yield prediction as my preliminary machine learning study. So to develop robust and generalizable machine learning models for yield prediction in a small data set and diverse data set comprising of transition metal catalyzed cross coupling reaction. So I have identified a gap area there. So what is a gap area? Since application of machine learning to catalysis is still in the beginning, it is either focused on one particular problem or one particular category of reaction. That is, either it is catalyzed by palladium metal or one particular category, specified category of reaction. So what I have do is that I mix my data set contains diverse transition metals under diverse conditions, but my data set is small. So which machine learning model is better for this one? So one of the objective is in front of me is to create an open access data set so that everyone can use it for their machine learning study. That is one thing we have to keep in mind. If you are preparing data set and if you are publishing it in the journal that will be open access. So that will be taken by some other people for their study. So if you are giving a wrong information, um, we are also making what others to do mistake. Okay, just like how it is important to publish properly in a journal. Similarly, we have the creation of data set for machine learning is very we should be it should be very correct, so that other people can use, because they think that it is reliable. They trust in us, so it is our responsibility to give proper data set without any serious error. So I have created an open access data set encompassing diverse categories of cross coupling reaction through literature mining. Me and my colleagues, there are so many colleagues associated, students associated with it, even from PG students and degree students, they actively do this literature mining, and we have created a data set. So first study is the predicting the yield of cross coupling reaction. So the question in front of me, or my professor asked me, which model you have using for this yield prediction. So we told the professor that, okay, we will start with the basic conventional model, that is random forest, that is a regression model, since I am focusing on yield, right? Yield is a quantitative variable. So it is not better to use classification model. So it is better to use regression model. So my professor asked me which regression model you have to use. So I wish to understand whether the conventional models, like random forest is a conventional machine learning model, whether random forest can be used for this purpose. So I start my machine learning technique on yield prediction using regression model. Are you okay? And shall I continue like this? Are you getting it? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? Okay, എന്തെങ്കിലും സംശയം ഇടയ്ക്കായാലും ചോദിക്കാം കേട്ടോ. Okay, then so I have mentioned about the preparation of data set. So this is my data set. Okay, I have categories of transition metal catalyzed cross coupling that contains different cross coupling reaction. Okay, my cross coupling, I have a small data set, 4,916 reaction containing data set, and that contains different types of metals, different types of cross coupling reaction. If you look into the literature, commonly it is focused on one particular type category of reaction, cross coupling reaction. Within the cross coupling reaction, it is focused on Suzuki coupling or Buchwald coupling. One particular category of reaction it will be focused on, since the data set is small. So what we have in our hand is that we have the data set which contains diverse category of reaction. So there are multiple combination. Then the chemical space will be too bigger. Then it will be difficult for the machine learning model to get proper prediction. So that is the reason why the other people are taking small specific data sets if you have a small number of data available with you. Okay, so we have taken it as a challenge. So we are taking this particular one. So we have trained that first. Next thing we have to do is that we have to train the model using the random forest technique. So in machine learning, in the case of predictive machine learning, that is in this particular case, we have a set of data. We have the data set. We will first split it. Okay, 80% is used. 80% of our data set is used for training the model. Then after training, 20% of our data set will be kept for testing. Why it is used for testing? Because we have to find out whether the model is whether the model learned or not. Okay, just like we are giving test in our I mean before our examination. You just think of like that. Okay, you are given so much training by your teachers. Then you have monthly test for that. Then if your teacher found out that you are scoring well, that means you have trained well. Okay, now if in the exam you are given an out of sample, I mean out of, even if you are given an out of syllabus question, you can answer. Okay, like that we are training our machine learning. I mean training our machine learning model. Okay, so for training data set, what we have obtained is that our random forest model achieved an R square value of 0.94. That means it is a better one. Greater than 0.9 means it is a better one. That means the model trained properly. And we have used, other than random forest, we have also used neural network we have checked that whether neural network work for this particular type of data set. What we have obtained is that neural network attained only 0.76 as compared to neural network. Random forest performs or random forest using random forest we can train the model better. So the training works better when we use random forest. That reason is that we have a small data set. As we have already said that neural networks are commonly used when we have a large data set. Okay, so we go for random forest. Then we can use different feature as I have already told that we can use different featureization methods. So among that DRFP is one type featureization method. Three featureization method we have used to extract the features so that the machine can or the machine or the model can map the relationship between input and output variable. So there DRFP is the featureization method that works better. Then other question is that how you find out. നമ്മൾ മെഷീൻ ലേണിംഗ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എപ്പോഴും വരുന്നൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ആണ് എങ്ങനെ മനസ്സിലായി അല്ലെ ഇതിനകത്ത് നടക്കുന്നത് എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് ഡീപ്പർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇൻസൈറ്റ് നമുക്ക് അതായത് ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റബിലിറ്റി ഓഫ് മെഷീൻ ലേണിംഗ് മോഡൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ചില മോഡൽസിൽ ബെറ്റർ ആയിരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ എല്ലാത്തിലും അത് നമുക്ക് ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റബിലിറ്റി പോസിബിൾ അല്ല. നമുക്കത് ജഡ്ജ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ട്രെയിനിങ് ഡാറ്റ പ്രോപ്പർ ആയിട്ടാണോ നടന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് നോക്കുക. പിന്നെ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കത് അതിന് പ്രെഡിക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ അത്ര മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് കറന്റ്ലി പോസിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ളൂ. ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റബിലിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അതിന്റെ ഒരു ലിമിറ്റേഷൻ ആണ്. ഓക്കെ, so because it is finding patterns, how we find patterns means that is a somewhat difficult question to answer. So again then hyperparameter tuning is one thing we are using to enhance our model's performance. There are different parameters. The model is analyzing different parameters, different combination of parameters. So in order to improve the model performance, hyperparameter tuning is one technique we are giving for this type of catalytic reaction modeling when we are using machine learning techniques. Okay, so this is the flow chart. So data collection, literature mined data collection, then data is pre-processed. Then we have extracted features from this data. Then we have developed a model. We have developed a model using regression model. I mean random forest and neural network. Then we evaluated the model and then we have predicted the reaction outcome. And we measured the the metric that is we are used for predicting the accuracy of our model is the R-square value. Okay, so this is the result we have obtained. So what we have obtained is that the random forest model can be used since it have got an R-square value of 0.79. Okay, I told you that this here you can see that random forest have achieved R-square value of 0.94 for training data set. That means it understood it is betterly trained. But when we give a test, its value becomes 0.79. That means it can be used, but we can say that it is the best model for yield prediction. Okay, so random forest can be used, not too bad. It can be used. Okay, then so that is the result we obtained when we use regression method for catalysis. Second is that we can use a classification model also. Classification model using k nearest neighbor algorithm for predicting the yield of cross-coupling reaction. So what we have obtained is we performed all these things. So there we analyzed the classification is based on whether we have got good yield if we use a particular combination of catalytic condition, whether we are getting a good yield, poor yield, average yield and below average yield. Okay, like that we can classify. Yield can be classified like that: poor, good, average and best. Okay, so there also, but it is found that its accuracy is not much comparable to that of random forest. It has only 0.66 as the average accuracy. So it is better to use a regression model for finding the yield of or predicting the yield of a particular cross-coupling reaction or catalytic reaction. Okay, so the next thing is that, so this is a class comparative assessment, that is regression versus classification. I have told you that we have got random forest method compared to classification model. Random forest works better for this cross-coupling reaction. Again, if you are changing our problem from cross-coupling to some other CH bond formation reaction, sometimes you have to use different model. Okay. So this is only a case study where I have taken cross-coupling reaction as my data set. Again, you have to keep in mind that you don't think that the people involved in this mechanics, MS study are all from chemistry background. No, they are from mathematic background. They could be from physics background. They could be from biology background. What they need to know is that during data collection, a student with chemistry background is needed. But after that, anyone, if you have a data set, then you need only have a preliminary idea on a +2 standard or +2 knowledge of chemistry. Then you can, from any background, you can go for this machine learning studies. What you have to where the specialist is needed is the area of data collection stage. Okay. Then after that, anyone can perform. If you have the data set, if you identified the problem, then if you identified which machine learning method you have to use, then you can do your task. Again, now algorithm, there is no need to develop, there is no need to have so much in-depth knowledge on what chemistry background. Okay. So next we can go a little bit faster. Then another one is the graph neural network application of graph neural, another machine learning model that is currently used in the area of catalysis is the graph neural network. Neural network, you are all familiar, but graph neural network is somewhat a newer one. So same data set I have taken. So what I have do is that I have smiles format, means I have a data set which contains smiles format. I have converted it into, I can extract molecular descriptors from that. Then after that, I convert my data set into graph. Graph means it contains graph representations are created where node represent reaction and there are edges which connect similar reactions. So there is a connectivity there. So it's a that is called graph neural network. So nodes are the features and edges will connect similar reactions together. So there are different graph neural network available. So you can see here that there are different, the approach is, data collection, data pre-processing, all those things are similar. So what I have obtained is that this is the one. Here I have obtained similar to random forest. I have obtained an R square value of 0.94 for one of the graph neural network, MPNN. And for the test also 0.75. That means it is comparable to random forest. So you can use random forest or graph neural network for this machine learning problem in the area of, if you are taking the problem of cross coupling reaction. So that is the result we have obtained. So here you can, in the case of graph neural network, you can use the interpretability. You can find which factors control the outcome of the reaction, or which is the factor that is too much affecting when predicting the yield of reaction. So there it is found that molecular weight, solubility, and electronic properties are found to be most influential for these types of cross-coupling reaction when you have to predict the yield if you are using graph neural network. Okay. Then that is the one. So next is the another one, recurrent neural networks. Normally in cross-coupling reaction, recurrent neural networks are poorly used, but we have adopted a strategy. Just use still also up to now we have obtained an R2 square value of 0.74. That means an average prediction. Our question in front of us is that whether we get a better prediction for the small data set. So we have checked for recurrent neural network. So there we have increased little bit of our data set to 5,000 cross coupling reaction, and we have tested different neural network architectures, and among them, what we have do is that one thing we have. So here you have to focus on the term data augmentation. So we found out that small data set is one of the problem that is associated with our data set. So in the case of, we can use their data augmentation technique. So that is, data augmentation means the process of creating multiple different smile strings for the same molecule by altering the atom traversal order without changing the actual structure or chemistry of the molecule. That is taking pictures from, think of taking pictures from different side of a particular species. Okay, different features, different. So that is the technique of data augmentation. So for small data set, you can use for data augmentation. So your question is that whether you can use data augmentation for graph neural network. No, because there we have used descriptors. So even if you use data augmentation there, it will not have any effect on the result. So in this recurrent neural network, we are using text-based representation of sequence. Directly, smiles are being taken for taken by the machine learning model. In the case of earlier cases, we have to give other descriptors, but here direct smiles are being used. So what here obtained is that still we are sad that our result got only 0.74, but the one model it's an average result. It is in comparison with that of random forest as well as GNN model. So we now we found that the model RNN, GNN and random forest alone in its അതായത് അതിന്റെ ഒരു base model വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ we will not get a better result. So we tried a different approach like hybrid approach that is now gaining importance. That is we are finding the limitation of one particular model and we are eliminating that limitation by adding some features. For example, the hybrid RNN contain smiles representation. That is, it takes text sequence-based representation. So if we are giving molecular fingerprint to that particular one, whether it give any better result. So what we have obtained is that so all those things are similar. Surprisingly, our result got 0.987, 0.97 means 2 better rates. So we are very happy that we focused on small data set and with heterogeneous data set. And we have all got our prediction value 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 like that. When we done a slight change in our methodology by incorporating a hybrid approach, that is by incorporating the fingerprint region, that is fingerprints to this RNN model, it gives a better result, 0.973. That means the model now understood the relationship better. Okay, that is the hybrid approach. So we found that for small data set, it works even for heterogeneous data sets. So our manuscript is currently under preparation. Again, similar type of techniques can be used for different machine learning problems. So you can you don't want to stick on the conventional methods. You can use hybrid approach. You can mix two models. You can mix two techniques. Okay, like that. Then there is still room for improvement. So big and reliable data. What are the limitations that is, or what are the improvement that we have to consider for machine learning studies? One is the big and reliable data sets are needed for artificial intelligence in homogeneous catalysis as well as other areas of catalysis. Getting such data is a common problem in chemistry research. So it is harder for catalysis with transition metal. Again, for transitions, we are using transition metal. Smile format is sometimes difficult to obtain for transition metal complex. So that is one area we have to work on. Then computer generated data is also growing, but costly. So these data may not cover all the needed chemical space. So experimental data takes more time and money to create. So all those things are limiting the application of ML in catalysis. So again, the best method depends on algorithm, data, and goal. So all these things are limiting the application of ML in catalysis. So what is the future? So nowadays, application of large language model to catalysis is currently trending, and it is the future. So large language models are AI trained models trained on large text data set to understand and generate human-like language. It is based on deep learning, like transformer model, like ChatGPT. If you think of a situation, if you have a ChatGPT that is specially for catalysis available to you, then it is with the help of computational chemists. You can, if you are an experiment and you have a ChatGPT available with you, then you are giving the reaction condition and predicting the reaction yield or predicting the outcome of the reaction. Then it is very easy. That is, you can synthesize a specific one, just like drug designing. You can apply it in the area of chemistry, it's means in the area of chemical catalysis itself. Think of the situation that definitely will happen within a small within next 5 years. Okay, so this is just like okay, I'm winding up the session. Then just go for the application of language models to catalysis. So you can have an end-to-end catalyst discovery from raw information. You can predict the outcome. You can generate new catalysis. You can find out the reaction pathways. Then you can find the reaction mechanisms. You can understood what are factors are controlling the catalysis. All those things. Okay. So these are the some of the future of machine learning in catalysis. So that is all with machine learning in the area of catalysis. I have mentioned it through the case studies of cross-coupling reaction. So I'm very happy that you are all listening to my presentation, and I'm very happy to have your valuable questions regarding this. There are so much to tell, but time is limited. It is very difficult to tell all these things, all types of machine learning techniques in one day. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you.
Now it's open for discussion. If you have any queries, you can interact with the resource person.
So I request all the participants to interact with the resource person and those who are working in the area of RK and those who are working in the field of catalysis. Please. I have a few queries like, in catalysis, we usually say that when the best catalysis process, as you mentioned in your talk, that is around the room temperature and no solvent condition. Have you came across any kind of such kind of experience by using AI models?
This one.
The best condition for catalysis is without the solvent at the room temperature. Yeah, a catalyst is the best. We say it's a suitable or the best catalyst. So, have you came across any case or have you applied AI in such a kind of situation?
So that falls into the category of optimization of reaction condition that we are doing currently. We are focusing on yield prediction, but we have not investigated that area. But it is possible to design catalyst that can work at room temperature, and even the cost we can find here, given the cost of the catalyst, then also which catalyst is economical. Also, it is possible. It's definitely possible. We can design it.
Yeah, I think that may be the best option.
Yeah.
If you can work on and maybe the best solution for most of our reactions, even problems.
Definitely.
So if you can look for that, it's the best solution I possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, it's the solution. So the problem associated with this related to this smiles, the machine readable information in order to convert this catalytic species to machine readable information.
Smile, yeah.
Yeah, smile. Sometimes smiles are not available for the complex.
Can we make smile our own?
Yes, it is. It is possible, but there is some huge work that we have to investigate for designing smiles for active catalysts. That is also a hot area of research. That is possible. That is why I said within a span of years, it is possible. It is even possible to make some softwares just like Gaussian. If you have all this data available, then we can make a software like this Gaussian or electronic structure calculation. We can just give the condition, give the answer to that, just like a chat AI for catalysis. It is possible. We are actually working on that. Actually, currently, we are not focusing on that particular atom, how much atom economy. That if we are giving that particular as one variable, atom economy as one variable, then we can also design it's using AI. Currently, it is possible, but it is all these are problem specific. We have data sets which huge data set or which contain too much information available, then it is possible. But that is why we are saying that for AI, it is possible. What is the problem associated with the data set, limited amount of data set? How can we increase the data set? And it is possible.
For the case of natural, like photosynthesis and all, we are using chlorophyll magnesium-based method. So, how those even for redoxins, natural catalysts and how that natural process is it well defined with AI or have you mimic any process? Like
There are
photosynthesis.
there are so many research that is to mimic the mimic the catalyst or mimic the whether some other catalyst can be replaced with existing one or mimic this process. But
Whether AI.
AI can be used. AI can be used.
Yeah, well, any reports that
No, I don't think.
but I think
It is a
as you are working in this area, explore, I think so.
yeah,
Can you explore?
sure.
The great session from the basic of catalysis to the advanced level. I have a doubt whether you have an experience in like in absorption of gases like hydrogen or any reducing gas or like oxidizing gas on the platform.
Yes, it is possible. It is available. Data sets regarding heterogeneous data sets are that is study on machine learning studies on this heterogeneous data sets are available. So many researches are already being carried. I have, and that is why I have said I have not covered the entire topic. I just focus on one particular area so that different techniques can be explained. We can mimic. We can give as a condition. It's possible.
So we can give the passing different environment factor.
Yeah, environment factor. If you have the question said we have to focus on one particular problem. Similarly, if you have too many data set available, then it is definitely possible to analyze, optimize the reaction condition. Which conditions it works well. It is possible. There are studies, so many studies regarding heterogeneous catalysis.
As we come to the conclusion of this enlightening session, it's time to take a moment to reflect and express our gratitude. For that, I welcome Roshan Jose from Marine College, Kutegaon.
I would like to congratulate and thanks to the speaker, Dr. Sri Lajarashmi, for a wonderful session. She has given a good introduction about the catalysis and how the role of computational chemistry we can use in to predict the better catalysis property and things. And she has given a very good insight and by step into the machine learning session. It was a very wonderful session. I also thank the coordinators, Dr. Soni George and team to have this particular workshop and these sessions. Thank you.
Now, we would like to hand over a token of appreciation to Rajalakshmi ma'am for this wonderful session. We would like to invite Dr. Juby Matthew, HOD of CS Department, to hand over the same. Once again, thank you, ma'am. Give her a big round of applause for this wonderful session. Now, we are moving on to our reflection journal session. Today, we will be engaging in a collaborative discussion centered around a selected journal paper. To introduce the particular paper that provides us with the necessary context, I now warmly welcome our FDP coordinator, Dr. Soni C. Josh, to take the stage.
So good afternoon to all. Today we are going to discuss a paper based on AI-driven digital circular economy with the material and energy sustainability for Industry 4. So this is a paper from Energy and AI published in 2025. It's a recent paper. Here it is talking about or discussing about the utilization of material, circulating the material without any loss, reuse, recycle, and circulate. So, material is circulated and without any waste. And in the relevance of Industry 4, industrialization, fourth industrialization scenario, the current industrialization scenario. And this paper will be given to you. A copy will be given to you. We will keep the group as same as yesterday. You can move it to the room just opposite to the room, R106. So we can start immediately the discussion so that we may finish it by around 1 o'clock, and we may move to quickly for the lunch, and we will start the afternoon session 1:30. Thank you.